this webinar today is going to be on DocMerge, the functionality within inside Sugar CRM. I'll just do a brief introduction to who me and Nord are and who Enable are, and then we'll get on with the session in hand. So Nord, I'll let you go first.
Perfect, thank you. So I'm Nord. I'm a solution consultant at Enable. I work alongside with Joe, Philly. So you may know me. That I see some people in the same list that I speak to regularly. But yeah, I'll pass you on to Joe.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, my name's Joe Bushnell. I've been working with Sugar CRM for about 21 years now. So seen it evolve over time, and one of those acquisitions was DocMerge back in the day, and that's what we're going to be going on today. Enable.services. For those who don't know, we're a family-based company, deal with Sugar CRM, and have been an elite partner of theirs for a number of years now. And yeah, we don't outsource. Everything's done from our office in Ipswich in Suffolk. So, like we say, today is about DocMerge and how DocMerge works and how we obviously utilize it in-house. So, what is DocMerge? Lots of people, for those who don't know in the audience, what DocMerge is. DocMerge is really, how can I put this? A mail merge on steroids is my easiest way of describing this. Okay, so everyone knows what a mail merge is: taking data from one application, putting it into Microsoft Word, maybe Excel, maybe PDF, maybe PowerPoint, and that is fundamentally what we're doing here with Sugar CRM as our kind of data source, though. Okay, and what we're going to be doing today is going through each of those components and kind of go through live and show you how DocMerge works with inside Sugar, maybe with action buttons, but also with DocuSign and also just as a standalone as well. Okay, so like I said, DocMerge, what you can do with it, DocMerge, is PDFs, Excel, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint. So if you've got maybe a presentation templates, PowerPoint is your thing, and you can pull the data into those to make them also very graphical, very marketing orientated documents. Proposal templates for Microsoft Word, PDF, and Excel, maybe lead, maybe calls, activities. That's kind of where we're going through. Nord, have you got anything to add there?
I think you've kind of explained it well. Doc merge is really good to, again, if you need to produce templates on the fly really quickly, let's say like an account report or anything like that. With the 2 clicks, you use a predefined template with all your branding, everything like that. With those 2 clicks, it can produce a whole document that you can pass off to, again, for a handover, or again to an account to maybe review them for maybe a QBR or anything like that.
Yeah, so really it's using fields easily. So the fields that you can drop into a dot merge are really names, dates, emails, check boxes, even down to images, barcodes, QR codes can be going into dot merge as well. So for maybe packing lists, shipping lists. Anything like that, you may want barcodes or QR codes, and you can use them in DocMerge. But you can also control the look of DocMerge documents with sort lists or changing to upper and lowercase or format of dates for obviously American format or UK format or whatever you want. So you can really utilize DocMerge for that aspect, and you can utilize it in order to change the data in doing so. Also, one of the parts here is, or what I like about is making lists with collections. So what I mean by that is where you can pull multiple related records. So if we talk about Sugar CRM, and we're going to go into the product in a minute, but when we pull out a quotation inside Sugar is not just it's just not a single module, for instance. For those who don't know, we have quoted line items and the quotes, but then we have the account data as well. Then we may have the contact data, so it's relationships. And what DocMerge enables us to do is pull all of that information into one document, into one view, and be able to take it and nest it into a screen, for instance, to be able to sort and limit how many nests or opportunities or contacts there are in that document. Okay, so it's extremely easy to utilize, and like I said, we're going to show it now. We're going to bring it up on the system. We are recording this. Yes, we are. Just before I say that, and Emily is in the background from our marketing team. If you've got any questions, ask Emily, and we'll be going through those at the end and try and answer them the best we can. So yes, let's share the screens. So I hope that you can see my screen, and I think you can. So that's great news. Um, so. You'll see that I'm in Sugar CRM at the moment, just seeing a normal Sugar system. I'm just going to F11 that to make that full screen. No, I'm not. So I'm on a Mac, not on the PC. That always helps. But DocMerge is in the bottom left down here. So you'll see DocMerge and you'll see this little DocMerge kind of area that we can utilize. And this is kind of where we can get this template assistant, what can help us create documents. Inside of DocMerge also belongs in document templates as well. So there's two places that we have to we go with doc merges: document templates and the actual doc merge down here. To create them though, we go down here, we click on template assistant, and it kind of pulls up this kind of area where we can select the module, select what we're actually doing, dynamic elements, sugar logic, or the fields themselves. So what we're doing to start with is a field. So if you're starting on maybe a leads module and you want leads profiling or the activities or activities or contacts or whatever you're doing, you're going to pull them through from the module itself. So it's the same as kind of a report. When you look at sugar reports, where are you starting? Where are you going to where are you going to click to go start my doc merge? If it's proposals, quotes, you're going to start with quotes. If it's accounts profile, you're going to start with accounts. If it's lead management, you're going to start with leads, for instance, up here. So wherever we start from, it's up here. So if we went to accounts, for instance, you'll see if I click on accounts, all the fields below then show, including all my custom fields. And there's loads here. And you can see them all here. And I can simply do a couple of things. So I could just click on the name and it will say copy to clipboard. And if I had a Microsoft Word document up, there we go. You can see I can just paste it in and I can say name, for instance. And that when I doc merge at that point, it's going to pull in whatever record I'm starting this process off. It's going to pull in the name record. Nice and easy. Anything to add there, Nord?
Uh, no, I think I mean, you explained the field tags very well. I think another good thing about the DocMerge template assistant is it also allows you to dive into relationships. So if you have any related records that you also want to pull out as well, as you can see, Joe clicked on a little drop down that says select relationship. It's going to list you all the relationships with that module. So here in accounts, for example, we have relationship with cases, for example. So if Joe clicks on cases for me, we can then see it updates all the fields at the bottom to then pull in any of the related field for cases. So these are all the fields we have in our cases module. So if Joe, for example, clicked on subject for me, and then he pasted that into his Word document. For some, have they changed it? Or do you need to click on the percent icon? Sorry, Joe, the cog.
Yeah, got ya.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's missing the relationship tab. Am I wrong?
Always good when you do something live, people. So what should happen is it should come through and say case name underscore cases to actually pull the relationship through so you actually can see that nice relationship. And normally it's up here. So you can see it's cases up here. So this would be your kind of area. And then you would kind of come here to go cases, name, underscore cases. And that would be your relationship here. Yes, Nord, is that correct?
Perfect. That is correct.
Perfect.
I quickly ran onto my second monitor to double check, and
Yeah.
I knew I clicked on something wrong.
No, you're fine. So obviously, when we talk about relationships, you can see that because we're triggering this in the accounts module, and because we're triggering in the accounts module, we don't have to tell them where this name field is here. But because we're having a relationship, we need to tell where the relationship of this one is. So we're saying obviously it's in cases, name, cases, kind of thing. And you can kind of do that as much as you like here. So you can pull these relationships or go back to your parent or go to those relationships. And you can nest these in tables to be able to see that data how you want to see it. This little cog button here is quite impressive because what you can also do is change the way that it looks. So if you wanted it all in uppercase, lowercase, etc., or capitalizations, you can pick and choose how this kind of looks. And you can see we've also got like barcode one here to pull through barcodes as well. So if you wanted to, you could pull through a barcode and pull through a barcode record as well. I just won't press copy to clipboard at the moment because it's
I
pulling the name
think
every
a
time.
good thing about the barcode as well is on DocMerge, you're actually able to create barcodes, so QR codes, for example, from this DocMerge. So let's say you had a template and at the bottom had a QR code. You can set up that QR code to go straight to that record. So let's say you were printing out these files, you were handing it out. Users can then scan that QR code and go straight to what they're looking at, and that's all been created through DocMerge through this barcode option by just selecting the field ID, and then it will allow you to produce a barcode or a QR code, for example, and then you can scan it, and it will take you straight to that record.
Yeah, and that is one of the beauties about it is you can there's this is like I say, it's on steroids. So there's so much you can do with this. It's just not just a kind of normal create a new letter, put a letterhead, hi person's first name, create a load of documents, and then drive a load of letters or contracts or whatever you're trying to do from a actual document. Yes, you can do this, but you can do so much more. So the other parts in DocMerge on template system is dynamic elements. So inserting date fields, inserting a list or a table, nesting data within a table, for instance. So when Norm was just talking about cases, you may want to pull through those cases into a data list, and you can see that that's what I'm doing here. So you can see name, date, and if I just did a couple more in through, and you can see that it's pulling through its data and binding them together up here. This is particularly good when we're talking about proposals or anything like this, because you'd want the proposals and the quoted line items, for instance, to be nested. So this is where tables come into their own, and also be able to change the header, sort, and everything else, and just simply pressing copy to clipboard and pasting it into our Word document. And you can see every time I do that, it's coming up with names. So I'm just going to ignore that and just select and copy that instead, because that would be where we'd be taking it instead. So that would then pull through our cases and our columns to a particular table. And you can kind of use this kind of elements up here to whatever you want to do. So one of the parts that are what I didn't know about, to be honest, is Sugar Logic. So you can actually have Sugar Logic within inside a table. So you can utilize the actual data. Maybe it's a quantities, and the data doesn't have to belong inside Sugar. So you may have maybe a nested table. At the end of that nested table, you may use Sugar Logic to do a roundup function, or a roll up function, sorry. And you may have a roll up function, what said, add up the quantities for these different quoted line items, for instance, or it could be commissions, it could be anything, because you can have whatever you want here can be using the data that you're pulling into the quoted template. So the data, when it belongs in the quoted template, you could then use really dynamic functions to then maybe manipulate the data further to give you what you need to see. Nor do you maybe be able to put that more into English than I can there.
Yeah, no. So a good thing about, like Joe said, about using the sugar logic and everything like that. So within your document template, let's say, for example, you wanted to produce a contact report, and your contact report, you don't want to show phone numbers in that report if they have do not call ticked. If do not call is ticked, you will then, in your sugar logic, you will do a formula that will check to see if that field is ticked, then we don't want to show this on the document template. Um, Going forward, let's say you have a opportunity one, you want to maybe add up all of the product line items at the bottom in your little template, like Joe showed with those functions with the roll up and the roll up sum. Those will be able to do a calculation within your template as well to show it. So you wouldn't actually need those fields on Sugar as long as the data is in Sugar. And then you use the Sugar Logic with the nice predefined boxes they have where you can just click on a formula and then type in the requirements that you need. It will all do that for you in the back end of the system when you produce that document, either by producing it yourself or you can do it by producing it through, like Joe said, an action button or a BPM, which we'll show going forward.
So
I
this is a good example of exactly what we're talking about here. So you can see that this is the formula roll up down here. So what we're looking at is in the nested table above on the quantities, or the kilograms in this case, to actually drive a formula. The data doesn't belong inside sugar here. We're asking the formula to run after the data has been inserted into the tables. So for instance, in this case, roll up the quantities of all of the actual packing lists entities or the quantities of net weight into it, and you can see that it's just raw formulas. And this is kind of how you can obviously what you can do with inside of the DocMerge function. You can kind of utilize it, yes, to pull through the data inside Sugar, but also manipulate the data to show you how you want to see it with inside certain documents. And those documents, like I said, could be a packing list, but they may also be a proposal template, such as this. So you can see the proposal template in this case. What have we got on here? So we've got the salesperson, who the assigned user is, attached to the quotation. The, we've got a relationship with the contacts who related to the organization, billing accounts, and we're bringing through the actual street address. And we got the shipping address and proposal numbers, etc., coming through. And then underneath that, we then have this table underneath. And the reason why we do the product bundles and the end of product bundles, do you want to just explain that quickly, Nord? Just so
Yeah, so
people
the
understand.
reason why we have to separate the product bundles section and put it in between a table is so then when DocMerge produces the template, and if there's multiple product bundles, more than one, I don't know why I said multiple, but if it's more than one, it will actually use the table below and also create is it cells or columns? No, it's not columns, it's rows.
It's rows. Yeah.
It was rows, third time lucky. It creates rows against that table. So rather than making a table with, let's say, 10 rows, for example, it will just automatically add a row when it needs to, depending on how many products you have on your quote.
And this could be a quote, but this could also be activities. You could be contacts. Maybe you're a customer success person, agent,
Thing in a
manager.
table form, really.
Yeah, it could be anything that's got a relationship, and you can nest them into bundles so that you could trigger it from maybe from the accounts profile and then have a complete overview of who that customer is and all the relationships in between. Okay. And this is one of the beauties about it. This is obviously just a template what we've created, but we'll trigger that in 2 seconds to show you how that works with inside Sugar. The other part what you could do is contracts. You could utilize contracts. So there's lots of different ways of obviously utilizing DocMerge inside Sugar. And one of them is obviously contracts. Again, you can see we're just inserting the places, the placeholders in the right areas. And then once we trigger DocMerge from the record, it's going to then obviously work in that aspect. So these, once we've created our template and we've created our DocMerge template, and like I said, we're going to be using template assistant to do that. Or if you know the actual code itself, you can just insert it into your template. But where that goes is that goes into our document templates down here. This is kind of you have documents module, but then you have document templates. If this is not, if you can't see this inside your Sugar, you need to be an admin user, but go to admin and go down to navigation bar and subpanels here and just pull it into your available fields. Document templates does work with rule management, security as well. So you can pick and choose who has access. But if we go to document templates, what we actually see is a list of all of the actual templates that we have in our Sugar. We also have a list of where they're triggering. So where I was saying that proposal is going to trigger from quotes, or an NDA may trigger from accounts, you're going to choose it here. So when we create one, you would browse to your local machine, and I'm doing the NDA one again just to show you NDA. Pick and choose maybe what team. You may have different document templates depending on maybe region, maybe languages, different languages, document template languages. Only the people inside those teams can see the document templates that relate. Okay. And you can see that we've got the trigger module where we're coming from. So in this case, accounts. If I'm in leads, I'm not going to be able to see this NDA document. I can only see it if it's in accounts. So if you wanted a document to be across multiple different modules, you're going to need to upload it 3 times. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but just in case you did, you'd need to it can only show in the modules that you choose here. Okay, and you can see it's a one-to-one up here. Okay, your prefix and suffix is obviously based on your actual name, and you're assigned to, doesn't really matter to be perfectly honest here in this case, but it's good for audits and things like this to actually know who did the document, who owns the document, etc., etc. Okay. Once you have that document, it looks a little bit like this. So it's all uploaded. You can see that we've got use revisions and we've got label merging turned off in this case because we're not using it for label merging. We're just using it for an actual document template itself. And upon it being there, we can then go into an accounts. We can either trigger it from the top right up here and go down to DocMerge. And you can see that we can either doc merge. If we go doc merge and you've chosen it as a Word document or PowerPoint or whatever it is, it's going to utilize that source. However, you can see we could take a Word document that it's a doc merge based on a Word document and put it straight into a PDF if we wanted to. If we just trigger one, doc merge, you'll see a list of the doc merges that we have. One being NDA, one being the account overview, and we can pick and choose if we want to do. We can only see the ones that belong to our teams, and you can see upon me clicking on it, it's then triggering down here to then pull through that data in that aspect. And that's really taking the information out and putting it into a Word document in this case. And you can see once it's been generated, it's then available for everyone to use. So it's very easy to kind of get around this kind of the actual documents themselves. You can also see we can put doc merges against action buttons. So inside Sugar, we have action buttons, and I could simply have a big yellow button at the top here, create NDA, click on it. Again, doc merge works and pulls through my NDA document. So it's very easy to utilize to actually get DocMerge to work. So how did I get, for instance, the DocMerge on the action buttons? I simply went to admin, went to studio management, into my accounts module, into my fields, and went into my action button here. And in my action button, you'll see that we have simply on create NDA an action of DocMerge. And if we doc merge, obviously, so this could be a button, this could be based on a workflow, this could be based on anything, to be perfectly honest here. But the beauty about it is BPM, action buttons, everything support doc merge. So it could be a process that you're building that at a certain point, doc merge needs to run. Okay. And you can see that upon that doc merge running, it's now available on the bottom left down here. And you can see that I could just view that document and click on it and view it. And if I click on it that way, it opens up in Sugar. But if I download it, this is kind of how it looks. So you can see that it's inserted 5D investments, the addresses and everything else have come through, and it's all put it in the right place. And I could then add to this if I wanted to and add more content to this because this is just a Word document at this time. Obviously, it's a PDF. I would be doing something different.
I think
Anything?
it's good. The good thing as well, when you trigger a doc merge, either from an action button or BPM, it will always link that document under your record where you triggered it from. So, like Joe did it here for 5D investments, he triggered this NDA form doc merge. We can see in the subpanels it's linked it to that account, and also it keeps document revisions as well. So again, even if let's say you produced it, there was a spelling mistake or a typo in the actual template. If you updated that template and then reproduce it, it will always have those revisions for audit trails, and then also it links the documents as well against that account. So once that document's produced, you don't then need to re-upload it into the documents module or link that record manually, it will do it straight off the bat in the system automatically.
Yeah, so it does keep a full audit of, yes, not only the people who are downloading those documents, but also the revision templates of what those documents are. So we can see that we've got this 5D investments. We may want to send this via DocuSign at this point. So you can see if I want to send it via DocuSign, you can see that I have this sign with document here. And if I click on that, that's going to open up DocuSign, and I may want to send it to DocuSign. You can see that upon clicking on it, opens up DocuSign, and then I may want to insert my signatures, etc., inside the DocuSign. And I may have DocuSign templates at this point to actually send through. And you can see that I can just go to here, add my recipients, put myself in just for this kind of process, and you can see that I could just put them in the right place. You may have templates in DocuSign already set up for this NDA, and you could simply just utilize it, and it will use a template in DocuSign. But upon pressing send, it then puts that as a sent document inside of Sugar. So it will take us back into Sugar, and underneath Sugar, we would be able to see the actual DocuSign status and what the actual record is. And that DocuSign status on the bottom right down here, you'll see our Add Dashlets button, and you'll see DocuSign over here. Obviously, you need a DocuSign account to utilize this, but if we go DocuSign and we scroll up to the top, so we bring it up to the top, you'll see that it's been sent. This is the envelope of what was sent, and we could do certain actions. And upon being completed or viewed, this is going to be updating. And also what we have within the DocuSign module is a DocuSign envelopes module. And again, it's the same information. Jim Bremen has sent the NDA signed. When Joe Bushnell opens it, it will then pull through to update that record. And I'm just doing that in the other screen. So, Nord, I don't know if you just want to add
Yeah,
something while I'm just
I
doing
just
this.
wanted to also just put out there as well. If you already have Sugar, the DocuSign integration and the DocMerge come standard out of the box. So there's no prerequisites for that apart from with the DocuSign one, you just need to have a DocuSign account, um, and just go through the setup of getting that connected. And just to answer a question from Robert, quickly, currently the only sign providers that come out of the box with Sugar is DocuSign right now. As far as I'm aware, Joe, unless you have any information about that, I'm pretty sure.
No, you're right. DocuSign is the only one what Sugar have brought out themselves. There may be other add-ons from other partners, but yeah, DocuSign is the only one that Sugar has standardized as a signature platform. They have looked at Echo and others, Adobe, but they haven't been released as yet. Okay. But on that DocuSign, you can see now I can review that document in normal DocuSign kind of element, and upon pressing sign and signing that document, that will then update Sugar and against that record. That record against 5D investments may trigger a workflow. You may trigger anything. And you can, because your data belongs inside Sugar, you may want to then trigger an action of what's happened. And you can see on the top right up here, it's sent. In a couple of seconds, it's going to go to completed. It's like all those things when you're trying to get something to update and it's on thing, you can now see it's completed. And you can also see up the top right here is notifications telling us also that it's completed. So even if I wasn't in the record 5D investments, the top right on my notifications telling me that that NDA has just been completed. I may also have a workflow. You're going to have DocuSign telling you as well, but I may also have a workflow emailing me as a signed user that my DocuSign is completed. The beauty about this is once it's been completed, the signed envelope is also here. So if I download that from inside Sugar, that is my signed NDA. And it's automatically, oh, if Gemini didn't want to interrupt there, it's automatically uploaded and added it into the actual document, the signed document from DocuSign. So it is a really powerful tool to work with in Sugar because yes, you can obviously trigger those doc merges, but then within DocuSign you can pull them through. And this is obviously just showing on an account, but we may do this also on a quotation. It may be a proposal that we've created inside Sugar. And that proposal, again, DocuSign, top right, it's just adding it in as a template. And then upon, again, going down to DocMerge, choosing our proposal, and that's going to trigger. And then we may want to actually trigger through the DocuSign again and putting it through. We may be creating this as inside sales. And we may want to alert another user that a document has been created for them because it could be a profile. It could be that we're sending this through to the contracts team or anything like this. So you can alert users and send a notification that I've just done this. So you can see I could send a notification to another user. Maybe that this has just happened, that I've just created a document and your document has just been done by, I don't know, inside sales, like I said, and you can see that it's just going to be alerting somebody else. What we also have down here on the functions on DocMerge is send as attachment. So even if we haven't got DocuSign, we could just press send an attachment, and you can see at that point it attaches the proposal, the DocMerge proposal, and it puts the actual starts the email component of the email. And we may have a template that we've done. Hello, person's first name. This is your proposal. So you may just want to quickly insert what you've got and insert a template straight into here and put who you're sending it to. So it's not just DocuSign. It can be used internally. The difference is internally we don't have to use signatures. We're just sending it as an attachment straight out of Sugar for someone to receive and confirm via email. Obviously, if it's DocuSign, we're going to be confirming it via e-signature.
I think a good thing as well about the whole doc merge thing is you could really automate this process. For example, let's use the proposal one. Let's say once an opportunity or a quote is marked as close one, you can have a BPM that, okay, once that's closed one, it can produce that template. Once that template is produced as a PDF, you can then automatically get a BPM to send that to the assigned contact of that proposal. So let's say if it was Joe, for example, he was buying, let's say a new phone from me, I can mark that as closed one. Without me even doing anything, the BPM will see, oh, that's closed one. It's going to produce the document as a PDF, send it across to Joe. Let's say Joe reads over the proposal, he likes it, great. I can then say the proposal was approved. I can then get that sent to DocuSign as well, straight automatically through. And then once Joe signs it, that's already back in the system. So anyone can see that signed document. Again, given that whole 360 account view, Sugar's main focus and the main thing about a CRM. So again, if I had, let's say I was off ill and someone had to pick up that sale, they can see that, okay, Joe's already signed, gone for it. We can go straight to delivery of giving him his phone. So again, you could really automate and it can really free up a lot of manual time by just using something simple like DocMerge or the DocuSign integration,
Yeah,
incorporating it with BPMs.
massively. And all of those documents that you're creating are in the documents module. So inside of Sugar, again, if it's not showing, such as this one, you're going to go down to documents. I can't, I've been blind to that, or it is showing already.
Documents isn't available. I think it's off on your
Oh,
user.
so it's my user. Yeah, so if you can't see it down here, it could be a user, like in this case, this one. So you'll see on here, documents. I'm just going to pull it over. So every single time a doc merge is run, it creates it as a document. So you can now see a list of all the documents in the documents module of everything was run. Again, team management works. Again, you can create filters if you wanted to. So you may be categorizing maybe some of these templates to proposals, to accounts, to anything, and you could simply view and download and see the latest revision, etc. So it's really easy to utilize this kind of functionality. What you can also do with DocMerge is if you were doing labeling, for instance, you may want to tick a whole heap of accounts, maybe Christmas card lists. Sounds stupid, but we always do it. But we may want to tick a whole heap of all of them, press dot merge, and again use our templates. That's going to then create rolling it over and over again to pull through the actual data and actually pull that through to how we want to see it. So dot merge can, yes, be used as a singular entity on say an account record, It can also be used as an action button, like I showed up here. It can also be used in the BPM. So BPM. So what do we mean by BPM? It's automations. So when we're looking at an automations and we're looking at a maybe a credit approval in this case, you can see that if we go to design, yes, we have our credit approval process, but at the end of that credit approval process, we may want an action, and our action type may be DocMerge. And at the point of being a DocMerge, we can select our template, what it's triggering, and it's going to look at what the actual module triggers from. So in this case, you can see, because I haven't got one for this module, it's not allowing me to select any, but if it was proposals, quotes, or anything, that proposal template would come up. And then I would simply pull that into wherever the process needs to be. So if it's been approved, pull it over to our action to create a document and then maybe end the process. So you can pull these kind of creation of doc merge documents into an actual process itself. So it could be a case of because we got to this stage in a sale, we now need a document to be created. So it then creates a Excel document, for instance, of maybe a survey document that you've created, and you could get Sugar to take out all of that information that it knows about the customer and put it into that external path, that external body of that template that you may have designed in that process.
I think a good thing about DocMerge as well, and that I'm glad that Sugar is also incorporating DocMerge more into things as well, is you can also now trigger DocMerge from the mobile app. So let's say, you're out, you're with a customer, everything like that, you need to produce a document quickly. You can produce that document through the mobile app. And then from there, you can either email it or again, it's uploaded to that account record. So if you had your laptop, you can then view that document straight again in the subpanels of documents.
So if we were going through kind of some points of why we'd be using this, well, straight away we're going to say it saves time. It saves time and effort. So there's no need to manual copy and paste data into documents. One click could create a contract, a proposal, a letter with live CRM data. So the data itself, you may want, I don't know, you're going out to see a customer and instead of you're going to take the data out of the customer. So for instance, we use Sugar in-house for our issues, complaints, our help desks. So we may go to our customers and customers are going, well, why should we use you for local support? What have you done for us for local support? So we could provide them and give them a PDF of all of the issues and complaints, what we've helped resolve over a certain period. And we can give them as a document as we go there. So it's going to save time to manually having to do that and go look in the system. One click, as is with the live data. It's going to reduce errors because the data being pulled from Sugar, so the data should always be accurate. And it's going to cut out those mistakes of not obviously manually editing with upper lowercase or maybe the address is wrong. You won't have that problem because it's going to mean, and also what you can do with DocMerge is create a professional, consistent output. So you can get your marketing team to put all their brand, and when they may be updating their brand colors or their logo, etc., the marketing team can just go into the document templates and update them. And it's just one single place, and all of those going forwards, all those documents being created are going to be polished on brand documents with everyone on the team, depending on because you may have, we're talking about teams, and I was talking about regions that documents can belong to teams. You may have multiple organizations using one CRM. And if you have, you may have different logo sets, different brands based on those documents. And obviously, in that aspect as well, that's obviously going to be the easy way of actually keeping that professional and consistent output. Obviously, also dynamic and flexible. Sugar and a DocMerge allows you to adapt to a situation. So different products, pricing, maybe terms, they appear automatically without a user maybe having an input or finding that I didn't know that something happened. The system's going to automatically update for them. So rules, tables, lists, they're going to be personalized to the recipient, but professional to your kind of way of working. And because it supports docx, document, Microsoft, PDF, and Excel. We can make it useful to propose and invoices, reports, and even internal documents. Like I said, we're starting to use Sugar and getting our customers to use Sugar as a business service management tool rather than just a CRM. So not just a sales CRM. Let's look at those internal documents that you have to pass in out. Maybe HR, maybe accounts. How can I get the system to create a document for me where they have to do everything manually, and maybe I can get that to speed up a process? Could even be a case that Sugar is creating a pro forma invoice before it goes into maybe an ERP system. And also, can we merge collections, e.g., products into a quote, apply conditions and calculations? So there's so many different parts. Like I said, it's mail merge on steroids. There's so many benefits of DocMerge, and it's kind of a hidden feature with inside of Sugar. What people need to know and understand how powerful it is. And it's so easy to use with that DocMerge. So that template system down here, you can pick and choose. It's going to have your customized fields. You're going to pick and choose what the actual module is, click on the actual name or the actual data, and then copy it in to your document in the right place. If it's got an attachment such as this, you can see we've got cogs, and then this one here has got this kind of paperclip. That's because that's a relationship. That's what it means. It's a relationship to the assigned user. So that's the difference. And if I click on one of those instead, it's not going to give me the uppercase, lowercase. It's just going to give me the actual information as is in that relationship. Nor there's anything you want to add here.
No, I think you explained that well. But I think one of the best positives about DocMerge is that you have the ability to create the template yourself in Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. So again, you're not limited to what it will look like or anything like that. All you're using DocMerge for is just extracting that data from Sugar into a template that you've designed, again, for either a quote or proposal or anything like that. It allows you to, you're not limited to what customizations you can do. Again, like Sugar is, it's meant to be the one source of truth. So again, pulling that data out into a document that you would want to use is great. And I think, I mean, we use it here at Enable for our proposals and anything document related, and we get to design it and brand it up.
So you can see me quickly just creating this. So we spoke about description, maybe, and then you're just going to copy, paste it in. Um, And this could be anything. This could be like I said, a letter you're going out. This could be internal documents. This could be a handover document from sales to maybe after sales, maybe CS. You pick and choose how this actually needs to look, how you want it to feel, and you simply you upload it in a document template to actually trigger that kind of area. Okay. What questions have we got? We've got 15 minutes, Nord.
There is one question from Robert. Hi guys, can you doc merge directly into an existing PDF? I don't I don't think you can, right? Since PDFs can't be modified.
Yeah, you'd need to use Adobe or something like that, Robert, to obviously convert that existing to PDFs. Because once it's a PDF, you wouldn't be able to pull over the top of it or overlay it with DocMerge. Because DocMerge can apply it to a PDF, but it can't edit a existing PDF in that aspect. Okay. Any other questions?
Uh, no. Hopefully that means we must have they must have no questions answered all of them. Oh, there's one more.
Go
Do you have to save a copy of when a document is created via DocMerge? So you have the ability to save it locally, but once the DocMerge document is produced, it will automatically save a copy to the system, as Joe is showing here in the documents module.
Yeah, you could just download it if you wanted to. Sugar has integrations into Dropbox, SharePoint, OneDrive, and a couple of others platforms. So you could utilize those, or you could utilize the Sugar CRM internal storage. Just be aware with Sugar CRM's internal storage that also you have a certain amount. So be aware of that, just in case you're uploading images, etc., into those dot merge, and those PowerPoints, etc., could get quite big. So be quite careful. So there's kind of points here. What would I ask? How much time does your team currently spend preparing customers' documents each week manually? And do you use any standardized templates? Or does any person create their own documents? What you could use in DocMerge? I suppose that's kind of a couple of questions that you could ask internally. And have you ever lost a deal because maybe you've used a template, what you kept on replicating over and over again, and actually had other old customers' details on that template, and you sent them out to a new customer because somebody didn't see because you're just utilizing a template over and over again. This is going to save that kind of time, yes, element, but also make it more professional and also reduce the errors. This is what this is about. And obviously for proposal, contracts, reports, internal documents, that is what this is about. Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
So
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Is the next question, or do you have more?
Please go ahead.
So we've got a question from Gary. We have a complex spreadsheet where data is input into work out the best solution for the client's requirements. A lot of our spreadsheets are taken from Excel into a Word doc to then compile an executive summary before dispatching. Can this kind of thing be done?
So the question is, is the Excel sheet, should that be inside Sugar, Gary? Should it be a module itself inside Sugar with the data already belonging in Sugar, so that you actually have a module for your Excel sheet? Yeah, a module for your Excel sheet, and then you can trigger a doc merge from that module. So if that Excel sheet is to do with a customer, I would kind of, depending on how that's going to be accessed and who's accessing it, I'd argue the point that it should be a module inside Sugar with relationships to a customer or contact or sale or project. And then, yes, you could then trigger.
Perfect. The next question is, hi, can the doc merge be used with a module that has been customized? Doc merge works in custom modules.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah,
Yeah, it should work in any module across.
yeah, it doesn't matter. And the same with the action buttons and the BPMs. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you've got custom modules that you've created through Sugar Module Builder, you can still utilize them. Obviously, if they've been created by code via external developer, we don't do that internally as in Enable, but some developers do create modules using custom code. They may not work because Sugar can't see them as a proper module. And that would be why they wouldn't appear if they don't work. Okay.
Perfect. So the next question is, do you have any videos or training literature on how to use DocMerge? We do on our YouTube channel. If you just Google search DocMerge enable.services, it should be the first result. We have a YouTube video that shows how to use DocMerge and everything like that that we've gone through on this webinar, apart from the DocuSign and everything like that, because that wasn't part of the picture during that recording. But we do have videos on our YouTube channel about how to use DocMerge and also other hidden things about Sugar that you may not know. Our YouTube channel does have a good source of information about Sugar, so it is quite handy to look at that if you're maybe stuck on something or want to know something new about Sugar. Our YouTube channel is getting more updated with it.
We do also provide training sessions as well, so paid for training sessions. If anyone wants to really delve deep into creating DocMerge or admin or studio or anything else, Mike is extremely good and knowledgeable on these. So he would sit down with you online or a group of users online. You record it so you could use it for future, but it is a paid for session. But it does go through all of the sections, obviously in the admin sections. But so I would ask a question back to the audience and say, what are the risks of relying on manual document preparation for your business? And what risks are there? And can you limit those risks by using DocMerge going forwards? Because I know I probably can say hand on heart, probably only about 50% of our customers use DocMerge at the moment. So it'd be good to get the other 50% using it.